Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Random Blogging. I don't think I can really avoid this subject because I'm a massive gamer. And to be 100% honest, I have really been looking forward to this game coming out because it looked phenomenal. And that is the subject of Assassin's Creed Unity. Um, First things first, I have not myself played Assassin's Creed Unity. I don't own a next-gen system, so I can't actually play it. Um, However, apparently that's a good thing. From what I have read, I mean, the BBC covered this, guys. The BBC, who normally, they're not just a legitimate news source, like they are, I mean, it's the BBC. This is all of Great Britain. They go to the BBC for their news, and I mean that's a big deal. And so they had an article that they published about this whole issue with Assassin's Creed Unity. Apparently, massive glitchy game. Like unbelievably, there's just all these crazy glitches. Like apparently, there's scenes where like oh, I can't remember. I think his name is like Arno. Whomever the main character is. There'll be scenes like he goes to kiss somebody, and their skin and face disappears because of a glitch, or he will randomly fall through the floor, or he'll be able to swim underneath floating enemies in the middle of the street and stuff like that. Like just crazy, mind-boggling, weird things, or he can hang off of invisible cliffs that don't actually exist. So yeah, just massive issues. And then apparently it also has microtransactions. Now I'm not sure if the microtransactions things is just for like the PC version or just for a specific version, or if it's across all platforms. But that really upsets me. Like when I think of Assassin's Creed and stuff like that, microtransactions never, like, I had no idea they were going to do that. And I think it's kind of stupid. Like, I'm not a fan of microtransactions in general. I've seen them ruin otherwise great games. One of my favorite games at launch was Star Wars: The Old Republic, because it was a phenomenal game. Say whatever you want about The Old Republic, it was a just a phenomenally fun game to play that had a fair amount of issues that took them longer than they really should have to fix. I literally, I have it downloading the latest update in the background right now. I love it. I think it's a fantastic game. They have a new expansion coming out about Revan that I think is going to be phenomenal. And I'm probably going to play it. However, I think the game was ruined when it went free to play because it was like I was 100% fine paying monthly for it until it got to the point where I realized that because I'd gotten like 2 characters to max level, and even with the guild I was in, I couldn't, like, there's not enough end game content, and I got bored with it, so I stopped playing. I came back after it had been free to play for a while. And I'm like, well, I'm not. It's free to play. I'm not going to actually pay for it. And maybe I've been spoiled because games like Neverwinter is free to play and it's brilliant. Like I have spent, I think, a total of $60 on that game, and that was simply because I wanted to get guaranteed beta access, and the starter pack or whatever gave you a lot of cool stuff. So I got into the beta. I got a lot of really awesome stuff for my characters to the point where it's super easy to get my characters leveled now. And that's all I've ever spent on the game. And I didn't even have to do that. Like you can spend $0 on that game and still have a blast and get all the way to the end. So maybe I've been spoiled by that. But being a free-to-play player on the Old Republic sucks. Like you're not allowed to you don't get to choose from all the different rewards for missions. You level up slower. Like it's really just not fun. And it's still, like, I still play it, but I think it was kind of ruined by microtransactions because in order to do endgame content, you either have to be a subscriber or you have to buy tokens that let you do They call them operations, but basically your raids. You have to buy tokens to be able to do the space combat, which doesn't really help you all that much. It's just fun. And I used to love doing the space combat, and I can only do, I think it's, I don't know, I think it's like 3 a day. There are literally, I don't know, 2 or 3 dozen space missions that you can do throughout your career. And I love them. They're so much fun. If I'm free to play, I can only do like 3 a day. And I used to spend hours playing these space missions. So yeah, I'm not a fan of microtransactions, and the fact that Unity has them kind of ticks me off because it just feels like um, it feels like a way to kind of gouge money from your player base, which for a game of the quality that Assassin's Creed is, I don't think they need to gouge their player base. I think, $60. I think if they make a good game, the $60 that you pay for the game should, I mean, they should sell millions of copies of this game because Assassin's Creed's a great series. It's got some awesome, awesome stuff. There's no reason they shouldn't be able to make a huge profit off of it, unless the game comes out so glitchy that nobody can play it. I mean, it's horrible, and I'm really upset about it because again, I can't play it because I don't have a next gen system. But I like Ubisoft. I have a lot of respect for Ubisoft, and they really screw the pooch on this one. And someone's saying something about me on Twitter. So yeah, I mean, it's really upsetting that happened, and I think I'm actually more upset because glitches happen. Glitches happen. They probably released the game too early, is what it is. Which they have a bad history of releasing games late. Like what was it? I think it was I don't know. The last 2 games that they released were like 9 months late. So they have issues with time management. Just fine. I mean, Microsoft. One of my favorite jokes in the world to use is anytime somebody keeps delaying something, I'm like, oh well, they've adopted the Microsoft release schedule, which is it's going to be January, February, March, April, May, September, October, when we're ready. Microsoft does it all the time, and there's a bunch of other companies that do it too. I think Blizzard's done that quite a few times. And like, you know what, we're not going to release another one until we're ready. And they make quality games. Like, I don't think I've played a Blizzard game before that I haven't enjoyed at least the first time I've played it. Most of them I played just tons and tons and tons and tons. So they make quality games. So I don't mind them taking a little bit of extra time. Yeah, I'd like it sooner, but I would much rather than put the time and effort in to make a good, solid game. And I think Ubisoft should have done the same thing. I think they should have just said, you know what, guys? We can't have a good game ready. We're going to push back the release date. So, yeah, to me, that's really upsetting. Now, I am interested if Assassin's Creed Rogue, which is the last gen thing that's apparently North American. I don't know. I was reading that somewhere. But anyway, that one you can play on like PS3s and 360s and stuff like that. I'm interested to find out because I haven't read anything on that. I'm interested to find out if that is nearly as glitchy as Unity is. So yeah, just really, really upset about that. Wish that hadn't happened. What else was I going to say? I don't know. I'm upset about Assassin's Creed Unity. I thought it was going to be really, really cool. All the, with everything that happened with it, with just everything. Like, it's kind of sad that this is what happened, and I hope. Apparently, Ubisoft's stock dropped like a rock after it released. Oh, and the other thing that happened that people are screaming foul play, and I'm not 100% sure who to believe, just because, again, lies run the world. But they put an embargo out on reviews until after the game had launched. Like, no one was allowed to release reviews until after the game had launched. And again, I would love to give Ubisoft the benefit of the doubt because, again, I loved Assassin's Creed 3. I played all of the Assassin's Creed 2 games and spent far more time than I really should have with them because they were awesome. I have not beaten Assassin's Creed 3 yet because I keep putting it on the back burner, and I've never even tried 4. But they're all amazing games that I really appreciate, and I really enjoy a lot of Ubisoft games. So I'd love to give them the benefit of the doubt, but even I'm sitting there going, really? An embargo on reviews for a game, and it was horrendous? even I'm sitting there going, okay, something fishy's going on here, and that's not cool. So yeah, I'd like to know your guys' opinion on this whole fiasco. So positive, negative, defend Ubisoft, crucify them, whatever you want. Comments below, because I'd like to find out what other people think about this. If you've actually played, if you have an Xbox One or a PS4 and you've actually played Unity, let me know what your experience was in the comments below. It's theoretically possible that a few people are just blowing this out of proportion and the glitches aren't nearly as massively bad as they're saying that they are. I have a hard time believing that when the BBC does a story about it, but whatever. If you've played it, I want to know what you think. Put it in the comments below. Yeah, that's all for me today. I didn't do random vlogging yesterday because we had the All for Geek Alliance 1 year anniversary hangout. And surprisingly enough, that took a ton of time. So I just went, you know what? That's my random vlogging for yesterday. I'm not gonna do it another one, okay? So yeah, that's all for me today. Sorry this is a little long, but I'm very much, I'm not like mad. I'm really kind of depressed that Unity was not nearly as awesome as it looks, and I'm really hoping that Rogue is a lot better. Just because, again, they're more familiar with the PS3. They've made 2 games for it, and the 360. I'm hoping that it went better. So anyway, again, that's all for me. I will see you guys next week for some stream of streams with the TJ. All right, bye-bye.